Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to another live edition of Ask Huda during the blessed month of Ramadan 1441. And we only have today and tomorrow to the end of Ask Huda during this blessed Ramadan, insha'Allah Azza Jal. Allow me to remind you with our phone numbers and the contact informations, beginning with area code 002, then 0238 555 area code 002, then 010054693323, and two WhatsApp numbers, area code 001 806 0025, and finally WhatsApp number, area code 001 4891503. You can watch this live broadcast of Ask Huda on our YouTube channel and the Facebook page, Salah Official, and the YouTube channel should appear on the bottom of your screen, and I would appreciate if you can subscribe to the channel as well, inshallah. With our first caller, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Iyad from the KSA, Assalamu alaikum Iyad. Naam. Iyad, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Yes, Iyad, good. You're 6 years old, mashallah.
Yes.
Shia, remember you, Iyad. Can you hear me?
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Why was mankind made?
Why was mankind made? Why did God create us? Okay, that's another good question. And I remember Iyad's earlier question, I believe it was a few episodes back, it was about why do we pray? Thank you, Iyad from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum. Abdul Basir from the USA. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Brother, I have three questions. The first question is, raise after each prayer or thank for dua. I've seen some people that they raise after each prayer, they raise their hands and do dua. But in opposite, I see other people that they never raise their hands and do the dua after the prayer. So which one is correct? The one who raised the hands or the one who doesn't?
Okay. Any other questions?
Second, regarding the night zikr before you go to sleep. On that night, you said that you have to say, or the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to do the three qul huwallahu ahad, qul a'udhu birabbin nas. What about Ayatul Kursi? I heard that before you go to sleep, you can also read Ayatul Kursi. That's also a very good thing. And the third question is, if you explain the name or do some elaboration on the name or the title of the Salafi. Some people are proud to say that they are Salafi, and some other people, especially in Pakistan, India, in these countries, they are looking at this title so they like the Salafis are not good or whatever. So if you elaborate a few words on this, who are Salafis and what does it mean?
Okay. Thank you, Abdul Basir.
Thank you, brother.
You're most welcome. Assalamu alaikum. Muhammad from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum.
Salam, Sheikh. How are you?
Ahlan wa sahlan, Akhi Muhammad. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, Sheikh. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Nice to hear from you, Sheikh.
Likewise, Akhi. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, Sheikh, I have a question. Actually, in the UK, Sheikh, there is an Islamic mortgage offered by Al Rayyan Bank, and they are saying the principle of Islamic Sharia is based on diminishing musharaka and ijara. Honestly, I don't know. So I just wonder, Sheikh, basically, would like to go ahead because it's an Islamic mortgage. I just wonder if this principle is okay to buy Islamic mortgage for me there.
Okay.
Thank you, Sheikh. Thank you. Salam.
You're most welcome. Muhammad from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum. Ayub from Canada. Assalamu alaikum. Akhi Ayub.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can you hear me, Sheikh?
Yes, I can.
How are you, Dr. Salah?
Alhamdulillah, and thank you for asking, Akhi Ayub.
Doctor, I have 3 questions for you. My first question is wearing perfume allowed for men, whether it's alcoholic or non-alcoholic? And my second question is, are wearing socks allowed if they cover the ankles? And my final question
What was the second question about the socks?
are wearing socks allowed if they cover the ankles?
Okay.
And my final question is covering the head for men a sunnah?
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
زين وإياكم. Ayub from Canada. Assalamu alaikum. Amina from Pakistan. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. I have 2 questions to ask.
Yes.
My first question is, I remember while I was in school, I just heard Dr. Zakir Naik saying on TV that women are not allowed to trim their eyebrows. So I wanted to ask if we're not allowed to shape eyebrows or if we can just trim them a little bit, because when we go to meet our friends or anywhere, it looks like they always say, okay, you have eyebrows like a man or something like that. So what's the extent of trimming our eyebrows that we may be allowed? And my second question is about this Ask Huda. Are you going to continue this after Ramadan as well?
Okay, inshallah we will soon after Eid, and inshallah we are organizing a live broadcast during the Eid day. Myself, Dr. Zakir Naik, Mufti Mink, and Bilal Phillips. Inshallah, it will be a beautiful Eid day.
Answer my first question.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome. Assalamu alaikum. Shamil from the UK. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yesterday I asked a question about the minaret. I was referring to a different type of minaret, like there's one in Surah Adiyat, verse 9, and Surah Baqarah, verse 253. What these minarets mean?
You said verse number 253?
Say that again.
Okay, your question is about a verse of Surah Al-Baqarah, correct?
It's about the minarets in the Quran.
Yes, I told you the minarets refers to...
No, I'm talking about different type of minaret.
I'm sorry?
It's one in Surah Adiyat, verse 9. Like a circle one.
Surah, which surah?
Not the prostration one.
Okay, can somebody from the control collect the question, please, and the verse number? Assalamu alaikum. طيب. Azra from the USA.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have 3 questions for you. Number 1 is I want to double check when if it is correct that you can pray sunnah prayer of suppose Dhuhr. I only have 5 minutes to pray my fard, and if I can do it on time and then later on do my sunnah some other time throughout the day.
Yes,
and then
that is
also
permissible.
same.
Yes, that is permissible.
Okay, and even the same thing for witr. If I missed my witr last night, thought that I'm going to pray, but I could not, I can pray that anytime.
If you miss the witr, Aisha radiyallahu anha, the mother of the believers, said sometimes when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was very sick and couldn't get up to pray tahajjud and witr, he will make it up during the day between Fajr and Dhuhr, which is a duha time, 15 minutes past sunrise. He can pray not just the witr, whatever you used to pray at night, provided.
Okay.
In the case of the witr at night, you pray it odd.
Okay.
Either 1
but that
or 3 or 5. In the case of making it up during the day, it will be in the even, not 1. It will be 2 or 4 or 6. Okay?
Okay, brother. So that just means that I did not hear the whole thing, but does it mean that throughout the day then you can pray, make it up all your sunnahs whenever you have the time because you could not pray on time, right? Brother?
Now, for the night prayer, it is permissible to make it up during the day For
Yeah.
the sunnah, if you missed it, like the sunnah of dhuhr, you can pray it after
Okay.
dhuhr, even though it was prescribed before, but you did not
MashaAllah.
have time.
Okay, okay. And then also for missing the fard prayer, the same thing applies, I'm guessing.
Yeah, but here I would like to remind you and all the audience, missing the fard prayer or the farz namaz is very problematic if the person does it out of negligence or deliberately. In the hadith which is collected by Imam Bukhari, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Man nama an salatin aw nasiyaha." So these are the excuses if the person overslept or happened to forget about the prayer. He totally forgot. He was caught up with some business and he totally forgot. Then the ransom is to make it up once we remember it. This is in case of oversleeping or forgetting. But the person should not deliberately postpone the prayer from its fixed time. Adra, any other questions?
A question
No.
regarding Duha prayer.
No.
If somebody has to go to, to the restroom, or maybe have to go from one room to the other while, while finishing your first prayer, and then you're supposed to keep sitting in the prayer until the sunrise, and then pray the 4 rakah after 15 minutes. If they have to go to the bathroom or somewhere else or to the next room for necessity, does that invalidate some of it, or does you? Because I think you have to keep sitting in there.
Well, like in the
That's
masjid.
my second question. And the third one is
That's the fifth.
just a quick one, that when you're fasting for Ramadan, suppose on Mondays and Thursday Ramadan fasting that we have done so far, can anybody make it intention also to have the sunnah reward added to the Ramadan, or just because Ramadan is the greatest fasting, then it does not actually imply the sunnah covered intention?
Obviously
brother.
not.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Sister Azra from the USA. MashaAllah. Quickly, with regards to the duha prayer, yes, if you have to renew your wudu or grab something quickly and come back and sit in your musalla, that would not interrupt sitting until sunrise. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Amatullah from India. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Sheikh.
No.
Sheikh, I have two very important questions. First is like in my first prayer, I by mistake at the last rakah I say twice Alhamdulillah Sharif, that's Surah Fatah. So my prayer is valid or invalid?
Valid, but you need to pray 2 prostrations by the end.
I didn't do that.
Okay, then your prayer is valid.
So I have to pray again?
No, you don't pray again. You just, after you finish the prayer and before making taslim, you add 2 prostrations for forgetfulness.
Hello? Sorry, your voice is not clear. Hello?
You hang up and you hear the answer, inshallah.
I have another question. Hello?
Okay,
Hello?
Go ahead, Amatullah.
Yes, my other question is, since my credit card is not working and I want to give a charity, not a zakah, so in that case, can I tell my family people or somebody in my family to pay the charity from their credit card and I can pay him later on by cash? Is it permissible?
Yes, it is permissible.
I can do that?
Yes, it is permissible.
Okay, but please make sure. I want to know about about the prayer. Should I repeat it or what I have to do? Can you just make it more clear?
You do not repeat the prayer. You just offer 2 extra prostrations, which are known as sujood for forgetfulness after the prayer. Then you make taslim and you're fine.
But I didn't do that, so can I do it now? Can I do it later on?
If the fasla or the period was long, no, it is dropped and you do not have to repeat the prayer as well. The prayer is valid.
Okay, thank you so much. Jazakallah, Sheikh. Have a good day. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much.
Barakallahu feekum. Bakr from France. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yeah, Sheikh, I'd like to ask you about the hadith concerning Salatul Tasbih. If it is authentic or not authentic.
Okay, yeah.
Because some explain about the hadith based on the explanation between Rasulullah and his uncle Al-Abbas.
Abu Bakr, can you hear me?
I also wanted to...
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
How many times you asked this question before, not necessarily to me, to others, and how many times you heard people asking a similar question about Salatul Tasabih and how many times you heard from every scholar that there is a difference of opinion.
Yes. I didn't hear it in Ask Huda. That's why I'm asking now. Maybe before I wasn't following.
You will hear
but I heard
same
it in my
answer.
school. Yeah. I heard it in my school when I was a teenager in Nigeria and North Cameroon, that they were talking about it.
Yeah.
And then when I followed one sheikh on YouTube last time, I realized that they said the hadith is not authentic. So I was confused. That's why I said, let me ask you, maybe you can help me with your own opinion based on that.
Shukran, Bakr from France.
Yeah.
Do you have another question?
Afwan.
Do you have another question?
Yeah, the second question is about, I guess it's also already on your former broadcast. It's about the Bismillah in the Surah At-Tawbah. What if normally you said, I mean, it's official. We don't have to say Bismillah at the beginning. And what if you say you don't say Bismillah, you read, for example, 10 pages, then the next day you resume reading the surah. Are you obliged to say Bismillah or no? That's the question, please.
Okay. Thank you, Bakr from France. Just give me, after this call, we'll take a few minutes to answer the pending questions. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Samira from Canada.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. How are you doing today?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa
And how's your mother doing?
She's doing much better, alhamdulillah, by the blessings of your prayers. Alhamdulillah.
Brother, I have two questions for you today.
Yeah.
My first question is, it is on behalf of another sister. She's actually having a little marital problem, and her husband does not regularly pray. He does not practice Islam properly. He would pray on and off. She was not given her rights as to, he does not provide for her. She makes her own income. He actually has restrictions on her as to when she can go see her family, so on and so forth. So she wanted to know what her rights are if she wants to ask for a khula. And if she goes for the khula, what are the rulings on the iddah period for her, if it's the same as the divorce, if the husband asks for it, if it's the same for not. My second question is for myself. I have been praying istikhara for a matter for these last 10 days especially, and during my tahajjud also I have been making dua to give me a sign, and I have been getting dreams. I know you have mentioned before that istikhara not necessarily has to do anything with dreams, but these dreams are pretty much similar in a span of 5 to 6 days, and it's actually not giving me a positive sign. Let's say I would see dreams of geckos and dark figures and being in a dark room, etc. So I wanted to know whether or not if these are signs as to the fact that what I'm asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide me to go forward with my istikhara to take the decision, or if it's going to be a wrong decision or not. How do I know if these dreams are the sign that I'm asking God to give me regarding the matter?
Okay, I got your questions, Sister Samira from Canada. And as I requested you earlier, I'm putting the calls on hold until I answer those questions. Iyad from the KSA. To answer your question, what is the purpose of our creation? We don't have to think much. The Creator Himself said, I have created you to obey me. And if you obey me, then when you come back to me, I will admit you to paradise, and you will enjoy living in paradise eternally. This is as simple as that. The Quran is full of references which indicates this answer. For instance, in Surah Al-Dhariyat, the Almighty Allah says what it means: I haven't created the human beings and the jinn except to obey me, to worship me. And what is the purpose of that? Because this is best for them, irrespective of their livelihood, irrespective of living on earth, and irrespective of return to Allah, you end up entering heaven as well. Abdul Basir from the USA. Some people raise their hands and make supplicate after the prayer. Is that permissible? That is permissible. Supplication anytime unless it is restricted, and raising the hands in the dua anytime unless it is restricted, such as when the Imam is making dua and invoking Allah after the speech on Friday, we say Ameen, but we don't raise our hands. That is stated. But after we make a halqa, and I make dua, after I recited Quran and I make dua, raise your hands. Raising the hands is a sunnah. The dua or the prayer is recommended to be in the prayer itself, in the salat, after reciting At-Tahiyyatu Lillah and before making taslim. This is a very precious time to supplicate to Allah. And in every prostration, it's a very precious time to supplicate to Allah. And if you were to supplicate after the prayer on your own and raising the hands, that is permissible. But is it something related to the finishing of the salah? Is it a sunnah to supplicate after every salah? No. But you may supplicate if you want to. But it is not a part of the regular prayer. The recitation of Ayatul Kursi before going to sleep is sunnah as well, as a beautiful means of protection, as well as the last two verses of Surah Al-Baqarah, من آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون to أنصرنا على القوم الكافرين. These two verses are very efficient and to be recited before going to sleep while lying down on your bed. Ayatul Kursi and the last 3 chapters of the Quran. Obviously, Surah Al-Mulk is recommended to be recited every evening as well. He's inquiring also about the meaning of Salafi and do I have to be Salafi? My answer is you have to follow the Quran and the Sunnah. So if you follow the Quran and the Sunnah and you have no clue about Salafi, you've never met any Salafi and you don't know what it means, you're just fine. And if somebody says I'm Salafi and he's wearing all the outfit which makes him look like Salafi, but this person is not practicing neither the Quran and the Sunnah, then he's not Salafi. In other words, actions speak louder than words. Sometimes the word Sunni is mentioned to indicate that this person is practicing the Sunnah. And it is also mentioned in contrast to Shi'i or other sects who happen to make deviations. So the word Sunni to distinguish that this person believes in the Sunnah as well as in the Quran, not only the Quran. Okay? But if the person says, I'm Sunni, if the person is a graduate of Medina or Al-Azhar University and he sells liquor and he's shaved clean and he's giving da'wah, is he Sunni? He's not following the Sunnah. So what determines whether the person is following the Sunnah or following the predecessors, and that is the literal meaning of the word Salaf, may Allah be pleased with them, whether the companions or at-tabi'een or the following generations. So if he's not doing that, if he's neglecting the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, which has been transmitted to us via them, then you can call yourself whatever. And it's not actually meeting the description. On the other hand, my grandma, my grandpa who taught me the Quran and made me memorize Quran and taught me the deen and put me to study Hanafi, you've never heard in his life the term Salafiyya or Salafi. Okay? But indeed, he was a righteous man. May Allah have mercy on him. Likewise, my grandmother. So what matters is your practices, not the title. Okay? There are some people who hold a title and they do nothing in life other than a practice of being judgmental of others. So they check out, Zakir Naik is like this, Bilal Phillips is like that. And how do you talk to Bilal Phillips? You're not supposed to socialize, you're not supposed to listen to this. Listen up. Do not give us a headache. You lock yourself in a room and you practice your own super practice. Okay? We're following Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and we're open for everyone who says La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah. And we do not test people's faith. We don't ask them questions to verify whether they believe in this or that. As long as they say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah and they do not show any innovation in the matter of Aqidah. And this is the manhaj and the attitude of Ibn Taymiyyah, Shaykh al-Islam. May Allah have mercy on him. He says we're not supposed to test people in their faith as long as they are known to be Muslims and they say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Before the break, I'd like to take one sister, Amina from Pakistan, inquired about a nams, which is plucking the eyebrows. No, sister, this is haram in all the madhahib. If anyone on earth comes to you and say, but I'm following this madhab, say, I'm following Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says, لَعَنَ اللَّهُ النَّامِصَةَ وَالْمُتَنَمِّصَةَ. A nams is plucking the eyebrows, or trimming, or shaving completely. You know, women do a lot of strange things which they are not necessary. The beauty is in being natural, beautiful human being. Trust me. But if a woman changes her complexion completely, and she gets the injection, the Botox, and she shaves her eyebrows, and she does her teeth, whatever, but she has bad manners and attitude, all of that will not make her beautiful. Likewise with the man. The hadith which is narrated by Abdullah ibn Mas'ud is a sound hadith, لَعَنَ اللَّهُ النَّامِصَةَ وَالْمُتَنَمِّصَةَ. So a woman thinning her eyebrows, or a man, that is not permissible. Shaving is not permissible. Plucking is not permissible. Exception from that, sometimes girls were born with the extra hair. The eyebrows are connected, making her look like a man. So the ulama, the scholars said it is okay to remove what is in between so that she wouldn't be looking like a man, restoring the original image. Not what most women do nowadays, if you guys know what I mean. We'll take a short break, but we still have some more pending questions, inshallah. We'll be back in a few minutes. Please stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. I'm trying my best to wrap up the pending questions before I start taking any more calls, so bear with me for a couple more minutes, inshallah. Muhammad, who inquired about the mortgage in Britain and some Islamic banks, I don't want to mention names again, and they do it through the musharaka. What I can help you with, Brother Muhammad, if you just give me a briefing about the contract, I'll be more than happy to tell you, yes, this is halal, or otherwise. I mean, I wish to tell you it is halal. Don't you think that we're very strict and want to make everything haram? I think with Sister Azra and others, all their questions were halal, and it is okay, and it is permissible. You know, but meanwhile, whenever it comes to business transaction and serious haram matters, we have to step back and say it's haram, because you don't want to enjoy it and I'll be liable for it. So we'll take a look at the contract, inshallah. But there are simple ways, like according to our dealing in the United States and North America, many people came together and they put together some sort of Islamic banking system to overcome the issue of the mortgage. And they ended up not la riba, rather pure riba. In addition to, it was even more expensive than the conventional banks. So we gave them some advices. We are at AMJA, the Sharia Scholar Association of North America, helped a lot of people to recognize what is halal and haram, and a lot of banks to adjust their transactions and their contracts to meet the Islamic criterion. Bakr, tasabih, prayer. Whenever there is a khilaf or a difference of opinion, I respect both. Many of the scholars still authenticate the hadith and they pray Salatul Tasabih once in their lifetime. I prayed it when I was young and I used to pray it a lot. And then when I came to acknowledge the fact that no, this is not a sound hadith, so I do have many alternatives. We pray Tahajjud, we pray Witr, we pray the emphatic and emphatic Sunan. There are a lot of other prayers, okay? But if you say, well, I want to follow this scholar, I want to still offer Salatul Tasabih, offer it. There is no blame upon you. Surah At-Tawbah, you do not recite Al-Basmala deliberately, neither from the beginning or any part of it. Assalamu alaikum. Ibrahim from Turkey.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Brother Muhammad Salah, my question is regarding Zakat al-Fitr.
No.
Yes. My father has been doing this on behalf of the whole family, but now I am married with 2 kids, though he still does that. I want to find out if I am obliged to take off the responsibility and do it for myself and my wife as well as my kids, or it is still valid when he does it for the whole family.
Akhi Ibrahim, can you hear me?
My second question is
before you say your
zikr.
second question.
Yes, please. Okay.
Alhamdulillah, you're a very lucky person. Lucky that, alhamdulillah, your dad is still alive and healthy. Lucky that your dad loves you and he pays the zakah on your behalf and instead of your wife and kids. MashaAllah. May Allah keep your relationship strong and tight. This is really wonderful. This is one of the beauties of this life. Alhamdulillah. You're very lucky. So as long as you know that your dad will be paying Zakatul Fitr for you, or he asks you and you say, yes, dad, enjoy it. Enjoy it. It is permissible. As long as you're acknowledged. Now, second question. Ibrahim.
Regarding to zikr, yes.
I didn't hear your second question.
It's regarding to zikr.
No.
Does moving the lips the prerequisite for its validity, or you can do it in the heart without necessarily moving the lips?
Got your question. Done?
Yes.
Thank you. Whenever you say, I was talking to you. No, you weren't. I've been looking at you all the time. I even said salam, you didn't answer me. No, I did. No, you didn't. So there is a surveillance camera. Let's check it out. It seems like you didn't say anything. No, I did it, but internally. I said it to myself. This is exactly when you say, I've been making dhikr, tasbih. There is dhikr by the heart, which is contemplation. But the dhikr, the ideal dhikr, is when the heart and the tongue is involved. The heart, the mind, and the tongue is involved. So when you say, Subhanallah al-Azim wa bihamdih, this is what counts as Allah will plant a date palm tree for you. When you say, Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, Subhanallah al-Azim 100 times, this is fulfilling the prescription of the dhikr in the morning or in the evening. You've been sitting contemplating the Sayyid al-Istighfar, but you didn't say it. You will not. You will be rewarded, but you will not get this reward, which the Prophet ﷺ said, if you were to recite this supplication in the morning, then you die during the day, you go straight to heaven. Did you recite it? I thought of it. Recite it. Move your tongue. Rasulullah ﷺ answered this question beautifully when somebody said, oh Prophet of Allah, there are a lot of advices, rules and regulations in Islam. Just give me a very comprehensive advice. He said, لا يزال لسانك رطبا بذكر الله. Keep your tongue moist, yani keep moving your tongue with the remembrance of Allah. Subhanallah. Assalamu alaikum. Ramla from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum.
Hello?
Naam, Sister Ramla.
Yes, sir, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sir, I have 4 questions. Can I go?
Yes, go ahead.
Sir, there is one family who is needy, but they have gold around less than 85 grams of 24 karat gold. And there is one more family who is also needy and under debt, but they have a car. So are these both families eligible to take the car?
Okay, your second question, Ramla.
Okay. My second question is there any certain limit of giving zakat, or we can give enough amount of zakat money to anyone or to one family at once? Like I want to ask certain limit, because some people say that we cannot give zakat to someone above this amount of money. So I want to know the certain limit of giving zakat to someone.
Okay, your second question is about the maximum limit of the payment of zakat to one person or one family. Am I correct?
Yes, to one family, or you can say one person. Yes,
Okay,
to one family.
third question, please.
Okay, so is it permissible to give zakat to some famous cancer hospitals? Because, and if not, then what if person has paid the previous year zakat?
I
to
didn't get the
cancer
question. Can you pay the zakat to whom?
To cancer hospitals?
To? Sister.
Hello?
Yes, Sister Ramla. If you raise your voice, that will make it clearer. Raise your voice, please.
Sorry, sir, I'm not getting you. There's a lot of distortion. Can you repeat the third question, please?
Yes, repeat your third question, please.
Okay. Sir, are we allowed to give zakat to famous cancer hospitals?
Give zakat to famous? I didn't get the question.
Cancer hospitals.
Okay, I will see if they can collect your third question in the control, but I cannot hear it, to be honest with you. And it's very obvious you and a couple other sisters are very concerned about paying zakat to somebody who's poor, but they may have some gold. And yesterday and day before yesterday, I answered a similar question. I said, the person may have a house, or may have a car, or may have a job, or may have some gold, but they're poor still. The poor is not necessarily the person who is stretching his hand or her hand and begging for food. No. The poor could be your brother whom you know that he cannot afford to pay the school tuitions for his kids. You heard that his daughter was not allowed into the school because he didn't come up with the rest of the payment. He couldn't collect the report card for the last scholastic year because they didn't finish the payment, which is very simple. So you know your brother is in need, okay? Yeah, but his wife is wearing a bracelet of gold. The flat is in his name, but he is faqir. We do not demand him to sell his flat in order to feed his family. And now, your second question makes sense. Like, you know, how much maximum we should give to a poor person? When I know that there is a family, the father died, he's left, mashallah, 7 kids, orphans, and they're all young. So my zakah is 10K. But I want to distribute my zakah, some to Syria, some to Human Appeal, and some to my neighbors, and some here and there. Look, if I send it all to Human Appeal, fine. If I send it all to my poor neighbors whom I know that they are desperately in need and the money is barely enough for them, that is fine as well. I don't have to distribute it among a lot of recipients. Okay? Assalamu alaikum. Abdul Hamid from the UK, and thank you for waiting for so long, Abdul Hamid.
No problem, Sheikh. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi, my beloved. How are you, Sheikh?
Who got married and who wants to get married today?
No one.
It's not about marriage question today? Alhamdulillah. Go ahead. I hope it's not divorce though. Okay.
So basically, my question is, regarding Zakat al-Fitr. I don't know, you might have answered this question before, but I do apologize. I don't intend to repeat them. But if a man is, of course, tending to pay zakat on 4 children, and his wife is pregnant, is he liable to pay zakat on that pregnant, on the child in the womb?
Okay. Second question.
I don't have a second question.
You know, Abdul Hamid, I noticed that the COVID-19 is affecting marriage and wedding, and even questions about marriage in the UK. No, you don't have to pay zakah on the fetus or the embryo, unless if he or she is born before sunset of the last day of Ramadan. But Uthman ibn Affan, radiyallahu anhu, used to recommend, as a good omen, inshallah we will have the baby and the Zakatul Fitr is no big deal. It's only $15. So go ahead and pay it as a recommendation, but it is not mandatory for the baby, for the fetus, I'm sorry, as long as he's not born yet. Got it? Thank you, Abdul Hamid from the UK. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Shazia from the USA.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have a few questions today. One is, can someone make dua in a sujood in their own language? This is my first question.
Second?
And yeah. Did you hear me?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Second is, if women miss more than 10 fasting, like 13, 14 fasting during the month of Ramadan due to her period, how can she fast in the month of Shawwal for 6 Shawwal fasting? Can she do 6 Shawwal fasting and then do the makeup fasting? And third question, I have one more question, which is that I read someplace that Prophet ﷺ used to perform a salah, and he used to say, after Subhana Rabbiyal Ala, Subhana Rabbiyal Ala, Subhana Rabbiyal Ala, Subhanaka Allahumma Rabbana wa bihamdika al-maghfirli. And same he used to say it in a ruku. And when he used to sit between sujood and second ruku, second sujood, between the sujood, he used to say, Allahumma gfirli, warhamni, wahadni, wajburni, wafini, warzuqni. So I asked one of the sheikh that, is it authentic? He said you could do this kind of thing in a sunnah prayer, but not in fard. Is that right? I mean, I'm sure that if it's Prophet Salah is supposed to be for all of them.
Okay,
all
I got
the
your
salah for
questions,
sunnah and
Sister
fard.
Shazia. I got all your questions, alhamdulillah. First, yes, you can supplicate in your sujood in your mother tongue, provided you don't know Arabic. Likewise, the brothers and sisters were asking about qunut in the witr prayer. I don't know Arabic. I do not know any dua in Arabic. Okay, can I recite it in my mother tongue? Yes, it is permissible. With the exception of Hanafi madhab, it is disliked. Based on a narration from Umar ibn Khattab radiyallahu anh, who forbade ratanatul a'ajim. But this is not because you're interested in showing off or speaking another language. You do not know Arabic, so you may supplicate in your mother tongue, in sujood, as well as after tashahud, after what you call it the Durud Sharif, and before taslim, and in the qunut. Your second question, normally you start receiving the second question after Eid, but mashallah, you're way advanced. So the right setup is to fast the 6 days of Shawwal. Then you start making up that, for in the average mind of people. But the Prophet ﷺ says in the hadith, من صام رمضان ثم أتبعه ستا من شوال. So according to the hadith, the person must fast Ramadan first, and you didn't get to fast Ramadan. You're missing a few days. So here, because there is a difference of opinion based on the understanding of the text of the hadith, to come out of this, I will answer you as follows. If alhamdulillah, you're missing days or 3, 4, or 5 days, and we have the 6 days of Shawwal, no big deal. The total is 10 days, 11 days. Even if you fast every other day, if you take a whole week break after Ramadan, then you start making up, you still can make it, alhamdulillah. But the sisters who cannot afford to do both, especially with the wave of heat, and not to miss Shawwal, yes, inshallah, it is permissible to begin by fasting the 6 days of Shawwal, and it doesn't have to be consecutive. And remember also, Aisha radiallahu anha used to postpone making up the missed days due to the period until Sha'ban of the next year. Ayub from Canada. Don't worry, inshallah, I'm not gonna call it off without answering your question. Can we wear socks that cover the ankles? As you wish. Beneath the ankles, above the ankles, it's all permissible. Boots, socks, leather socks. Wearing perfume which has alcohol in it, there is a difference of opinion, okay? And there will be always a difference of opinion based on whether alcohol is physically najis, yani impure, or its impurity is only when you drink it, okay? So if you take either opinion, you're not blameworthy. Wearing a kufi or covering the head for men, it's not compulsory, okay? And you can pray without the kufi. Trust me, your prayer will be valid. And the Prophet ﷺ prayed a lot without the head cover. And in Ihram, all Muslim men must uncover their head. And in Arafah, on the greatest day, we pray the 5 daily prayers. And if it was Friday, we pray without covering the head. So it is a tradition based on the people's customs as well. In your society, the people consider uncovering the head is a shame, so keep covering the head. Okay? You're living in the USA, you're living in many other countries where it's the norm. People just walk around without wearing a kufi. So it's okay. As far as the prayer, your prayer is perfectly valid without the kufi for men. Sister Samira from Canada, and this is the final question, I believe. Please, in the control, remind me if I'm missing any question. So Samira from Canada. Normally when the sisters ask, she's asking on behalf of another woman. Whenever a lady, a married woman, is inquiring about khula, so the intro is that the husband doesn't pray, the husband maybe he drinks, the husband has some extra affairs. All of that doesn't matter. Just tell me you need khula because you don't feel comfortable with the guy, you don't feel happy, you feel depressed. You can say one thing instead of, he doesn't pray on a regular basis. You can just say, he doesn't support me financially. Okay? You even deserve more than khula, fasakh, so that you will be divorced by the court and you wouldn't give him a penny. And in this case, with the fasakh, the iddah will be one period, you know. But if you tell me on air that somebody doesn't pray, somebody stinks, somebody whatever, can I ask for khula? I'm not going to answer you personally. I give a general answer. So the husband will be sitting and he hears his wife talking on the phone, or somebody says, isn't this your wife? She's asking that white guy. And he said, it's okay, you can ask khula for my husband. So he starts cursing me. Have nothing to do with you, nor with your husband. A woman came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and she says, Ya Rasulullah, my husband is a very pious man. ولكني غير أني أكره الكفر في الإسلام. I'm afraid that I will be disobeying Allah and committing an act of disbelief after I've accepted Islam. I cannot tolerate living with him. The guy is very lovely as far as a pious worshipper, very generous, he's giving me a lot of money. I don't like him, I cannot live with him. Then she mentioned some reasons. Okay, she started comparing him between others. He said, okay, وَتَرُدِّينَ عَلَيْهِ حَدِيقَتَهُ. He didn't tell her anything else. She have reached the level where she cannot tolerate living with the man. I cannot kiss him, I cannot hug him, I cannot share bed with him. I don't like him. He doesn't look beautiful, he doesn't look handsome. I'm willing to do anything to get out. The Prophet ﷺ didn't push her to the edge. He didn't say, no, you will go to hell. She said, I'm afraid I will be committing a sin. What am I supposed to do? He said, give him back the dowry, which was a garden. Then he separated them. Okay? Al-istikhara. There is no specific period where you would see a dream, and it is not even necessary to see a dream. I pray istikhara, then I move on. Alhamdulillah. Whatever the outcome, that is the result of istikhara, if I have offered the istikhara prayer properly, being undecided, putting my trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, undecided in this matter. But if I decided previously, and I have made all the plans and the arrangement, and I said, let me pray istikhara, it's of no use. Before we make the aqd, if it is marriage, before I put the money in an investment, I pray istikhara. Okay? Then if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His infinite knowledge knows this is good for you, you will find it being facilitated. and this is the outcome of istikhara. But can we still see a dream? It's possible, but please do not keep waiting for a dream, because it is not necessary. Brothers and sisters, I love you all for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I wish you all the best. May Allah accept our fastings and our worship. Subhanallah, we have one brother who's asking me dua to get a pious wife. Then soon after, a sister who's asking for dua to get a pious husband. You guys can connect. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for you both to find the right spouses, and for all those who are single to find the right spouses. And those who are already married, enjoy your marriage life. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech.